evening viewers, it's Ivie Anita here and welcome to another session here on the Fempreneur Reality TV show. It's 1st of May 2019 and I would like to say a happy Workers' Day to you. With me as always, we have our contestants here on the show and they are seated from Group A to Group C and they have a presentation to give to us today relating to Workers' Day. So let's hear from them. Contestants, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Fine.
So I understand you're going to be telling us a bit about Workers' Day and you have a presentation for us today.
Yes.
So Group A will be starting with you. Okay, your presentation please.
All right. We'll be talking on various topics today about Workers' Day. I'd like to introduce to us what Workers' Day means. I'm sure a whole lot of workers out there, whether you're working in any of the parastatals, always look forward to this glorious day, if I would use that word, because it's a day set aside where every worker would like to rest. And then I'm sure that the government had to realize that when a worker doesn't have a time to rest, there will be no good results. So this day is actually set aside to make sure that every worker have a time to rest, relax, and then refresh his or her memories to be able to gain good results and also get back to work. Now I want to talk about the working condition of an average worker. We realize that a lot of workers, because they don't have enough time and then maybe where to go and air their views on a lot of things that bothers them, we realize that they suffer in several places, which is their offices and thereabouts. We also realize that because an average worker doesn't have a say, we also realize that their salaries are not really paid when they are supposed to be paid. Because of that, this doesn't help to promote good results from these workers. We also realize that their buildings, if you go to some local governments, even to some offices, they have a whole lot of dilapidated buildings. This is because the government have actually neglected knowing that these people need a good atmosphere to be able to function properly. And so I'm sure that while we are speaking today, some workers will be out there celebrating, because I'm sure that any of the governments who is listening to this will be able to realize that they have actually neglected the working sector, which yields profit to the economy. I also want to talk about the strike. We realize that the labor union actually goes on almost monthly strikes. This is because workers have a whole lot of complaints based on their personal issues and maybe salaries withheld or maybe salaries not even paid complete. Some workers also complain that they pay their salaries half instead of paying complete salaries. And so because of this, we are actually here to talk about these things that have hindered workers from doing well in their various parastatals. I also want to talk about the minimum wage. The government have actually neglected that a whole lot. And so we are here to say that the government should actually look into these minimum wage issues and make sure that maybe, if possible, also provide funds that can actually pay off these minimum wages. We want to also talk about computers and several other equipments that are found in several offices. If you go to some offices, you realize that those things are not even working. And if at all they even have those equipments, they most times don't even have papers. For example, the photocopying machines, they don't even have papers to even make photocopies in those offices. Meanwhile, the offices need those things to be able to effect their work in the offices. I would like to give it to my other contestant who is in my group to say more on these issues. My name is Peculiar Oga. I'm contestant number 5.
Thank you very much. My name is Umude Faith. I'm contestant number 6. Adding to what she has just said, I want to talk about the attributes of good employee. Now, an employee is a person who works for another or who renders services to another in order to be paid for. Now, what are the good attributes? A good employee is one who has integrity. Now, integrity is someone who, when we talk about integrity, we're talking about being sincere in everything you do. You let your yes be yes, let your no be no. So, for example, you cannot be giving something to go and deliver, like money, or along the way you something happened to the money which you know about, and you come back lying to your employer. So when we talk about a good employee, the good employee must have integrity, which is to start with. Now, the second one we are going to talk about, a good employee is someone who has punctuality. The person must always be punctual, always meeting up with time in the office, going early. We also talk about regularity. You don't have any reason to miss office for anything except with genuine reason, which cannot be neglected. But outside that, a good employee is also always report at office when needed. Then we also talk about rules and regulations. A good employee is one who abides to every rules and regulations of an employer, of an organization, company, whatsoever. Whoever you are working for, under him or her, you are to abide by the rules and regulations given to you. Then a good employee is also to be creative, to be innovative in order to assist his or her employer to uplift whatever business they are into. Then we also talk about diligence. A good employee is also to be diligent in action, always be there when needed. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
You have
you.
1 minute, please.
Thank you. My name is Ayama Deborah DW. I'm contestant number 4. To add more, a good employee must be faithful and must be loyal and must be honest, and also must be humble and hardworking. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I would like to wrap it up by saying that if the employee has various attributes that actually helps in wherever he's working, he or she is working, which is a parastatal, it also aids the employer to be able to gain favor from them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Happy Workers' Day to you all. Today being the 1st of May, Workers' Day, we are going to be talking about the minimum wage and how to increase it in Nigeria. My name is Samuel Abayemna Mitezi, and I'm here with my teammates.
Aleto Stephanie Iyoha, contestant number 8.
Dixon Esther Frank, contestant number 9.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to talk about minimum wage. Minimum wage is the lowest amount or payment permitted by the law, firm, company or government to be paid by our employee, and it can also be seen as the lowest amount. It can also be seen as the lowest amount or salary that legally binds the subordinate to pay his subordinates at the end of every stipulated period of time. And now I'm going to give my fellow teammates to throw more light on the minimum wage, on how they see it in Nigeria and the ways to increase it.
Thank you. In early 2019, minimum wage was increased in Nigeria from 18,000 naira to 30,000 naira. There's also a possibility of increment every 5 years. Minimum wage in Nigeria is very important. The increment of minimum wage is very important to the masses, the economy, and the country at large. I would be talking about some of the importance of increment of minimum wage in Nigeria. First of all, it enhances the purchasing power, thereby leading to a boost in the Nigerian economy. When there's a boost in your economy, it means that there would be growth and development, and we all know that that is what we need in our country. That's what we want, economic growth and development. Also, it increases the demand of goods and services, and the amount of money or the amount of income an individual has determines the quality, the quantity, and the amount of goods and services that he would demand. So when the minimum wage is increased, this means that the individual would have more money to demand for goods and services, still leading to economic growth and development. With the constant inflation of prices in our country, Nigeria, we all know that increment in minimum wage is what we need to boost the economy. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be talking about how minimum wage should be increased. Firstly, workers should go on strike, incessant strike. Yes, I said workers should go on strike, knowing fully well that when you go on strike, there will be reduction in productivity, and low productivity, we all know that reduces the country's economy. And when the economy of the country is reduced, the government themselves will look into increasing the minimum wage of the country. Then secondly, peaceful protests should be embarked on, not killing anybody, not injuring anybody. There should be a peaceful protest for the increment of minimum wage. Then thirdly, the policies that guides the working environment, like the NLC, that's the National Labour Congress, should look into the policy, should look into guiding the workers so that the minimum wage will be increased. Then fourthly, the personnel in charge of the NLC offices should always meet so that they will talk on how to increase the minimum wage, putting the masses into consideration. Thank you.
And now we are going to compare the minimum wage of Nigeria to that of Ghana. With the sudden increase and development in the economy of Ghana, Nigeria minimum wage still weighs than that of Ghana.
Okay. Still talking about minimum wage in Ghana, you will realize that the minimum wage in Ghana they exclude the tax from the minimum wage in Ghana, but in Nigeria, you pay your taxes when you receive your minimum wage. That is when you pay your tax. But in Ghana, the minimum wage the tax is excluded from the minimum wage.
Okay. Another difference is that the minimum wage in Nigeria is paid monthly, whilst the minimum wage in Ghana is paid daily. Note that 1 naira equals 70 Ghana cedis, and also the minimum wage of Nigeria is 30,000 naira. Thank you all, and happy Workers' Day to you again.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Workers' Day. My name is Essie Omoraga. I'm contestant number 1, and with me and my colleagues is I'm contestant number 3, sorry. And with me and my colleagues, contestant number 2.
Fashusi Alaba Abiola.
And contestant number 1.
Doris Akaho Orewon.
Okay. Today is 1st of May. Every 1st of May, we normally celebrate Workers' Day. And so today, me and my colleagues will be talking on the challenges that workers face in Nigeria and also the solutions to it. And first, we need to talk about who are the workers. Workers are those people who engage themselves in the day-to-day activities officially in order to earn a living. We'll be giving some few tips on the challenges that we workers face in Nigeria. First, we talk about pensioner. Government should be able to meet up pensions for the pensioner. I tend to understand that pensioners today die early. Why? Because they are not able to get their pensions on time, and most of them tend to queue at the bank just to get their pensions, which is not supposed to be so. And I also find out that some of them also retire early, and after the retirement, you tend to find out that the pension does not even last. It's not up to their wage to take care of their family. I'm urging this government to be able, or to try as much as possible, to increase the pension for the pensioners so that they can be able to take care of their family. And two, we also talk about problems of inflation. In terms of inflation, inflation means rise in goods and services, the price of goods and services. If there's an increase in goods and services, and also if the government refuses to pay them early, I believe that they won't be able to take care of the families because of the rise in goods and services in the market. So if the government can be able to do something about the inflation by increasing production and also reduce importation, things will be easy for the workers. I will also give my colleague to say more, throw more light on this.
Thank you. My name is Fashu Salaba Abiola. I'm contestant number 2. I want to talk about the challenges. One of the challenges the workers face in Nigeria is about not paying their salary on time. Some of the workers, the government, they didn't pay their salary on time. Some states now, the government can hold them for a year without payment, some 6 months, all like that. It's not advisable for the government to be owing workers their salary. We urge the government, we are pleading that all the workers should be paid on time so that they'll be able to use the money for their demand and use it for their needs. Another thing that the challenges that they are facing is the decrease of their salary. We are urging the government to increase the workers' salary so that the money will be enough for them to do anything they want to do. Another thing we are begging the government for, to give all the youths that are around there, to give them work, to create job employment for them. If you see some youth now, some people, they will go to school, spend 5 years, 6 years in school. After spending 6 years, go to service, there will not be any job. Some youth around there, they will be roaming about. Some, they will gang, do all sorts of rubbish. So we are urging the government to bring an employee so that all the youth around there will have something to do. I will hand over the mic to my next contestant to throw more light on the issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello viewers, my name is Doris Akaho Orienwo. I am here to throw more light concerning the challenges that workers face in Nigeria. 1. Improve in income. What do I mean by improve in income? As it stands, a graduate might be working and has his salary, or her salary might be 25,000. In that 25,000 per month, you find that his transport is 15,000 naira and the feeding is 5,000 naira. Is left with 5,000 naira. How can he save? 2. Workers' condition. What do I mean by workers' condition? You find that in every organization there is a condition binding the organization. Your boss or whoever that is handling the organization might give order. The order might not suit you. What do? You need the job. You go on concerning the job to do it. Thirdly, equipment. You go in most organizations, they don't have enough equipment for workers to work on. For instance, desks, chair, laptops. Environment. When I say environment, in some organizations, when you go, you find out the environment are very dirty. Why? Lack of employment. In every organization need to employ more hands to enable, to handle, or to clean their environments. 5th, dropping of workers. If you find out as a worker, you leave your house in the morning, you don't have any problem in your office, and you get to the office, you see on your desk, sack letter. What do? where do you go from there? How do you face your family?
Group C, round up, please.
I urge government to increase workers' income and to see how to stop dropping of workers, because the rate they drop workers in the companies are much. Thank you.
And in conclusion, I believe that if the government can be able to meet to the demands of the workers, this place will be a good place for us. Thank you.
That's it here on this session here on the Fempreneur Reality TV show. You've heard from the various contestants from Group A to Group C. And you heard Group A tell us about how the different qualities expected from workers here in the country and worldwide. You heard also Group B telling us about the minimum wage here in Nigeria in comparison to that of Ghana. And we also heard Group C telling us about the different challenges that workers face here in Nigeria. It was very interesting to listen to the contestants here. I have questions for them, but I guess that will be for next time. Thanks for watching. Ivia Anita here, and this is Fempreneur.